First tonight are the warnings over a serious shortage of people who care for vulnerable adults in their own home. Care companies say it could lead to people ending up in hospitals and care homes who shouldn't be there.
They're also warning it could lead to spiralling costs for the government. Calendar has spoken to one company in East Yorkshire which says they need more than 50 staff just to cope with demand.
Well, there are calls for better funding of home care to ease the strain on the NHS, care homes and the families of people who simply need looking after. Katie Oscroft reports.
It's the little things that make being at home such a pleasure for James Porteous. He's been in a wheelchair since he was a child because he had polio, but it's never prevented him from leading the life he wanted. It was only when his wife needed a hip replacement that he had to ask for help.
All the joys of life are about living here and having our family round us and so on. And the one snag we had was that I couldn't actually manage to look after myself.
I need to get onto the bed.
James has carers who help to get him in and out of bed and the bath, but they're provided by one company which says it needs 50 more staff in the East Riding, Hull and York alone to meet the demand from people like James.
What happens is when we have these shortages is that the people that need this care, like James, are left in hospitals, left in respite care. There's other people waiting for treatment, waiting for operations that they can't get because hospital beds have been taken up. There are people that really, first of all, want to come home, and second of all, shouldn't be there in the first place.
We need more encouragement to bring people into care, more sort of reasons to join, other than the fulfilment and the love of the job. The original carers are there, need a little, wages would be nicer, that just give us a little bit.
A Department of Health spokesman said that it is essential that older and vulnerable people get the high-quality care they deserve, and added that's why we've given local authorities access to up to £3.5 billion to spend on social care.
Had I not had the carers, I think I would have had to have gone into a care home of some sort while my wife recovered from her hip replacement. It's so abhorrent to me that I would lose the opportunity of independence and living in my own home.
The people who help to look after James Porteous say they are finding it hard to cope with the number of people who need care and a shortfall of staff. Katie Oscroft, ITV News.
Well, earlier I spoke to Sandra Phillips from Carers Trust Mid Yorkshire, and I started by asking why paid carers are so hard to recruit.
The problem is low pay, and there is a lot of competitive market out there with retail and things like that. They pay a lot more than we can afford to pay in the care sector. There's people that work in the care sector, they've got to want to do it because they want the job, because if they don't, they're not going to get the reward for that. The reward for working in the care sector is actually the reward that you're getting from the clients and the carers that you're working with.
Because many people do find it a very, very rewarding profession, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's many people that do find it rewarding and they do it for the love of it, and they're the type of people that should be doing it. But reaching other people and actually trying to reach out to them so they can understand what are the benefits from working with the care sector is proving to be really difficult, more and more so.
Has it reached a crisis point yet?
I wouldn't say it's reached a crisis point yet. It's much more difficult than it ever was to try and reach those people, and you've got to be a lot more proactive and you've got to think outside the box a lot more. It is more difficult, and it's proving to be a real drain on our resources. To actually, just for a recruitment drive, is a real drain. Could
the government do more? If you had something to say to the Health Secretary, what would it be?
It's time and money, and that's the bottom line. We need more money to pay care support workers. The job that they do is a very, very difficult job. It's very complicated. There are very complex tasks that they do for a very low wage. And I think until the government understand that more money needs to be put into that, then we're going to face this problem over and over again, because somebody can go and work in a supermarket for much more money without that complexity, really.
All right then, Sandra, we're going to have to leave it there, but we really thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.